Hello, friend, and welcome to Welcome Wednesday on a Thursday. Usually these come out on Wednesdays. Hey, I want to say, first of all, welcome to our new subscribers. We had quite a few that signed up this week, so thank you. And we usually have an email that comes out on Wednesday, which is kind of like this video email. Then we have one that comes out on Friday, let you know what's going to happen on Sunday, and if there's something special in between. So we try to keep them to a minimum, but that's kind of the routine. Hey, yesterday, why are we doing this on Thursday? Well, yesterday was a doozy of a day. There's lots, right? We're exhausted, we're drained, we're worried, we're anxious, all those things. But it's also for me, I had to help move my oldest from Northfield back to Minneapolis. So that was good. And we had a prayer vigil last night. That went really well. I'm sorry there were some technical difficulties. We didn't get to live stream it. We tried. We couldn't get it working. But it was good. I want to share one thing about that. So we usually have the prayer bowl, and whenever you have the piece go around and it makes the bowl sing, it doesn't matter how many prayers are in there. The sound's always different, but it's always, it's got this beautiful tone to it. Last night I asked everybody to take a slip of paper out and write down whatever it was that you were the most angry at or the maddest about. And they were going to write it down, and then I asked them to put it in a prayer bowl, and then I would rip them up and compost them. No one would ever read them or see them. I put them in a bowl, and after I'd ripped them up, I filled a bowl full of water, and then put them in the compost bin, just so no one would ever be able to read them. But when I, kind of hit the side of the bowl and started to rub it around to make it sing, it was not a beautiful sound. It grumbled. The prayers were rumbling, and it was instead of the wah, wah, wah. Everything was moving around. It was just ecstatic in there. I've never experienced that before. That gives us a chance to kind of lower the temperature, lower the anxiety, kind of lower the anger. And we need to deal with anger. It's a real human emotion, and we shouldn't be afraid of it. And we've got to deal with it properly. And that was one of the ways. So that was special. Maybe we should do that again on Sunday. So find ways to deal with the emotions that you feel going on inside of you. I don't have any great words of wisdom. I wish I did. All I can think about is what's changed, but also what has stayed the same. And for me, I look at this is in my Bible, so every time I open it, boom, they're right there. These are my ordination promises. And I read over those once a week, and I think, especially this week, nothing's changed as far as my commitments. Nothing's changed about who I am and what I'm here to do. The situations around me have changed, but my promises remain. And I would say the same is for you. Your baptismal vows are still the same, whether you remember them or not. Or just as a person of faith or a person of conscience, your commitment to feed people, to heal people, to be compassionate, to forgive people, to proclaim Jubilee, those are all still needed, and those commitments that you have are still valid. I have a poem that I read all the time. I read it last night. It's William Stafford's The Way It Is. Here you go. There's a thread you follow. It goes among the things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread. But it is hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen. People get hurt or die, and you suffer and get old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. And for me, it's the same. That thread we hold on to, and that thread we do not let go of, despite how tempting it would be. And you can hear all kinds of people that are just have completely given up right now. And I say to them, okay, you can have your moment right now. We all need them. But don't let go of that thread. You let go of that thread, that core of who you are, then that allows you to unravel and be someone that you're not. Be somebody that the world doesn't need. Last time in 2016, everyone kind of did this internal look and wanted to understand white working class people. And everybody flocked to Hillbilly Elegy. It was one of those books that I couldn't read it. I read a page or two and I was like, this is not the Appalachia that I know and grew in and still love and forms me who I am. So I got in arguments with people who had never been to Appalachia, who read the book and wanted to tell me what it was like. Yeah. But if you want to read a book this time around, may I suggest to you William Barber's White Poverty, how exposing myths about race and class can reconstruct American democracy. Now, William Barber is, leader of the Poor People's Campaign. In his books and his writing, I just find a voice that's trying to do fusion politics, where he's trying to bring people from all kinds of places together on issues. I think it's the most gospel-centered approach I've ever seen. It unites people that are usually at odds with each other, and his capacity to not give up hope and to show how when people come together, the good that can happen. It just warms my heart, and it's pretty amazing. So if you want to read one book about this moment, I was reading it thinking, I wish this book would have come out, a year before the election. Maybe it could have transformed the way people talked about things. But now I think maybe it's even more important that it didn't, and here we are. Okay. Let's do a couple of things now. So another book you can't just read. Liberals, we all think we can just read our way out of problems, but that's not really the truth. Amanda Tyler, she is the executive director of the Baptist Joint Committee. She's going to be at Hennepin United Methodist Church on November 11th at 6:30. She's going to be talking about her book, How to End Christian Nationalism. The event is free. Registration is required. There will be a link for you to register. Hope to see you there for that. That's coming up. If you haven't made anything for the Wreath of Remembrance, we have a wreath and with ribbons that you can write names on of the departed, and then tie that onto the wreath. We're going to have that up for the month of November as a Wreath of Remembrance, and we invite you to do so. It is the month of November, and so we think a lot about Thanksgiving. We have a campaign to cut our budget deficit in half. By the end of the year, we have an anonymous donor that's donating $12,000. So if it's a matching grant. So if we can raise $12,000, they're going to match that $12,000. We're asking for people, if you've never given to this kind of campaign, to use Give to the Max, especially those of you, who read and experience the church primarily maybe online. If we have a link to there, you can give also through Vanco. You can write a check. You can place money in the offering and just write on the envelope for the Thanksgiving gift. So we're thankful for this opportunity, and I think we're going to get there. I think it's going to be a pretty amazing thing. So thank you for all those who have given and who will give. Lastly, this Sunday, it is a great Sunday coming up. Carter Gustafson will be giving the personal reflection, and the sermon I've given on is on the Prodigal Son. Now, we all know the story pretty well, and even if you don't, you probably have some kind of memory way back in there about it. You've heard it somewhere. You've seen a movie about it. You've seen a piece of art about it. I'm just going to ask you to read the story if you haven't yet, or read it again. Luke 15, verses 1-3 and 11-32. It is Jesus' longest story, so that should tell you something. And I think I found a way to read it that's different than any other reading I've had or thought about it before, but I think it's the key to the story. So one of my preaching professors always said, look for the stone in the road. What is it in the story that doesn't seem to make sense or it's peculiar to that story. So I'm going to ask you, when you read it, look for that stone in the road. When you're reading that story, what is it like? How come that's there? And that's what we're going to try to do. Okay. That was man, it's 10 minutes. But it happens. There's a lot of stuff going on. Hope you have a good day. Hope to see you Sunday, whether in person or online. And I hope you're taking care of yourself. If you need anything, give me a ring. Taking a lot of texts, a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails over the past couple of days. And hey, that's what we're here for, to lean on one another and to help us get through these times. Okay, friends, peace. And like I said, in person or online on Sunday.